Margaret June Martin, Fort Belknap. I'm a Gros-Ventre, a Assiniboine, and a Southern Cheyenne. Hays. Let's see, my grandparents were Margaret and Anson McConnell and Tom Bell and Mary Ann Bell. And then my children are Stan, Sissy, Tiny, Gerald, and Daryl, and adopted daughter Aretha. My parents, Fern McConnell and George Bell. In Hays and Flandreau, South Dakota. The elementary used to be over here by the John Capture Center. Oh, I loved it. I didn't want to come home. Berry soup. June berry soup with dry bread. Play baseball, and I used to play baseball with Willie Bradley and everybody. Tap dance. I used to tap dance. Roller skate. We had an old hall here we used to roller skate in. I don't know, just different things. Yeah. Yeah, he taught Gromont. Him and old Moses Nesper. Yeah, he's old the boy's grandson, so he was fluent. No, just when I went to Flandreau. I used to have to haul water, chop wood, saw wood, I don't know, all kinds of stuff, you know, in order to live. I went to Sundance and Indian ceremony. I watched Chief the Boy change cloths on his pipe, and I don't know. I used to dance, and then until my mother passed away when I was 13, and I was supposed to quit a year. Yeah, that's when I went to Flandreau. I never danced again. I just danced grass dance. Long time ago, we used to dance square dance. What were they called? A minuet. It was waltz. And I don't know, different dances. We never did jiggle around like they do now. My Indian religion. Whatever the senior center brings up. Oh, I like fruit. I know some of the Assiniboine and a few words of Gros-Ventre. No, I know a Cheyenne song. To sing Indian all the time to his grandchildren. He loved his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren. He just, when we lost the first Rochelle, it broke his heart. That was Geraldine. She was a little girl. The baby, 6 weeks old. She died a crib death. It's really different now than when we were younger. They had no drugs, no alcohol, and now you can find anything. Drugs, alcohol, mostly alcohol. There's nothing here for people, so they turn to alcohol. It was good long time ago. All we had to eat was deer meat, and once in a while somebody would steal a cow and share it with you. I've eaten porcupine, rattlesnake, I've eaten groundhogs, turkey, wild game, and buffalo. I just love buffalo meat. There's no fat in it. Good for diabetes. It doesn't matter to me. They have their own lives. We have ours. I don't go over there. A long time ago, I used to go to dances over there. Jutabugs. Mm-hmm. Well, my grandpa told me when the Crees came in from Lewistown, they came in great big carts. And the head one was a big lady. And she filled up a whole cart. You could hear their cart squeaking as they came. They stayed at Section Creek out, you know, west of here. And they got associated with the Indian girls. That was their way of working their way into the tribes. That's how they came about. That's what my grandpa told me anyway. I think cutthroat girls were the first ones to marry into like bazoo and side work and all that. A lot of donny. Grandpa used to say behind every rabbit track there was a donny. I got to go to college and earn my bachelor of science degree. I taught school for 13 years, 15 years. And I was in EMT for 15 years. That was my way of helping my people. Ambulance calls, oh, hours of the night, day. I was teaching school, and when I get a call, they let me go and bring in a placement for my teaching. Oh yeah, my class was one of the first ones to teach in this school up here, that new school. I think at that time I taught the 3rd and the 4th grade. I didn't want to teach high school. I got my master's degree, but I never did use it. I didn't want to teach high school. But when I had to retire, I can't even remember what year it was, but I had a stroke and a heart attack, and I had to retire. And but after I got stronger, I'd be a sub up there to all the kids. We had fun. Yeah, we raised 7 other kids besides our own. Got them through high school because nobody wanted them. They were mostly from Harold's side, Truman's side. Sundown, Little Beanie, Big Beanie, Dan Linda Mulder, his sister Selma, and his other brother Leonard. A whole bunch of them. They were all Harold's relatives. Everybody was so poor, you know, but Harold and I always worked, so we shared it with all these kids. And that was always my number one in life, was kids. I love kids. My husband and I, we were married 40 years. It was 40 years, January 26th, and he died January 28th, so we made 40 years. I took care of him, fed him through a tube in his stomach. He had cancer in his nasal passages. Instead of it going up into his brain, it went down. His neck was this big. He couldn't eat. He wasn't supposed to drink anything. It would go into his lungs, shut his air off, and that's what happened. He went out to the shop where his brother Smitty was, and I think they were drinking beer. I think he was too. Gee, he'd come in just happier and heck. And 1 o'clock that morning, he was dead. I think he told me he was tired of living. He was tired of being the way he was and hurting. I didn't say nothing. I thought, well, it's your choice. So that's what happened. In other words, he just kind of committed suicide, you know, in a way. Gosh, we spent 3 months in Great Falls at that Gift of Life house, and he was taking treatments, and he didn't want to. And the kids talked him into it. Oh, he suffered through it really bad. And then they did what was it called? Some kind of treatment where they burnt his skin. You see it moved down, and they were trying to catch it. Gee, his neck was this black, and I'd have to put salve on it. It would look pretty sore. But and then when I retired, I started a store. I was bored. So I started the store, and I ran that for 7 years. And then he got cancer, so I made him, I gave the store to Gerald and Sheila. I had $800 in the till and groceries, so they built their own store here. That's empty. Bought a sawmill. Tiny has it up there. And we sawed our own lumber. We built this house, then we built the store. Gosh, if there was a tornado, it wouldn't move. This house would never move. There was so darn many nails in it. He was making sure. Yeah. When I must have been about 12, I'd go by his mother's place across from the John Capture, and I just hated him. I really didn't like him. I'd ride my red bike up the road, and Helen might come, and I would ride our bikes together, and he'd say, "Look at those two pigs fighting in a gunny sack." He meant my ass cheeks, you know. Hated him. I wound up marrying him. Stay away from drugs and alcohol. Those are evil words. They start doing that, it'll come back on them. It'll kill them. Be kind to people, even the ones that are really, really poor. If you can help them, help them. Food, whatever. I used to go to sweats, but I can't anymore. I can't hardly walk. I fell last week and broke 3 toes. Hard time walking. I just taped them up. Why run to the clinic? They don't do nothing for you anyway. To me, in my mind, I know how to take care of it. There's nothing they could do for it. Anyway, put a boot on me. Gosh, I'd really be hobbling around. I don't put anything on. I just taped it up, taped them together. That way they'll grow together. You know, not together, but I mean, they'll straighten out and they'll grow like that. I'm old. I don't care. Yeah, I had a twin brother. I was a twin. His name was Richard Clinton. And then my older brother, Tommy. I had an older brother too, Mom's first marriage. His name was Teddy Wish. He was from Chinook. His dad stole him. We couldn't get him back. So there was my twin brother, Tommy, and I. George Bell was our dad. And then Wesley, my youngest brother, he had a white dad. His name was John Arrow Smith. But when Mom died, Grandma and Grandpa adopted him, so he was a McConnell. Yeah, White Star. I'm mostly a Assiniboine. I'm 9/16 Indian. The rest is Irish. I traced my grandma McConnell's dad she was from Oklahoma. She came up and she cooked at that old boarding school down Fort Belknap. Then she moved to Lodgeville and cooked there. Then she wound up over here. But his name was Todd, his last name. I traced it back to Wales. I gave all that stuff to Drew. She wanted it. Nobody else was interested in it. She was. And last summer, Wesley's wife brought his ashes after 5 years. They scattered them in the mountains. And in May, my brother Tommy's wife, she lives in Ohio. She did live in Windover. Half of Windover's in Nevada and half in Denver. A split city. But she moved down there after he died. They're bringing his ashes and leaving it up to me. I think I'll just bury him up here behind the hill. It's in an urn. When you bury an urn, they dig it 4 feet by 4 feet and 4 feet down. Stick it in there and cover it up. That's what I want to be. Yeah. I don't want bugs crawling all over me. Gerald said, "Where do you want to be buried back there, Mom?" I said, "Right on top of Harold's grave." He said, "Really?" He said, "It can be done." I said, "No, I was just teasing. I just wanted to be top dog." In the Bible, it said, "Dust to dust, ashes to ashes," so it's not a sin to be cremated. I used to go to Sunday school up here in that old church, and I think I read the whole Bible a couple times. And the shortest verse in the Bible is John 11:35. Jesus wept. That's the shortest verse in the Bible. Then as I grew older, I went to my Indian religion. Well, we all pray to the same God, but just in different ways.